My twin sister became obsessed with my relationship, stalked my fiance for months, sabotaged my life, then tried to replace me. I 28F need to get this off my chest because I genuinely don't know how I'm still standing after everything that happened. This is going to be long, and I'm sorry, but I need to tell someone the whole story because I feel like I'm losing my mind even though it's finally over. My twin sister Emma and I used to be inseparable. We did everything together growing up. We had that weird twin telepathy thing people always ask about. We finished each other's sentences, knew when the other was upset, defended each other against the world. She was my best friend, my other half. I loved her more than anyone. But somewhere along the way, something changed in her. Or maybe it was always there and I just didn't want to see it. It started about 2 years ago when I met Daniel, 29M, at a friend's wedding. He was the bride's cousin, and we hit it off immediately. He was kind, funny, genuine, and for the first time in my life, I felt like I'd met someone who truly saw me. We started dating, and within 3 months, I knew he was it for me. Emma seemed happy for me at first. She'd ask about our dates, give me advice on what to wear, help me pick out gifts for him. But looking back now, I can see the signs I missed. The way her smile never quite reached her eyes when I talked about him. The way she'd always find some small criticism buried in her compliments. He's so great, though I noticed he interrupted you twice at dinner. That gift is perfect, but don't you think it's a little cheap? I brushed it off. I thought she was just being protective, the way sisters are. 6 months into my relationship with Daniel, he proposed. We were hiking at sunrise, and he got down on one knee at the peak with the whole valley spread out below us. I was crying, laughing, completely overwhelmed with joy. I called Emma immediately after, and she screamed with excitement. Oh my God, I'm so happy for you," she said. "Tell me everything. What did the ring look like? What did he say? I can't believe my baby sister is getting married." I'm older by 7 minutes, but she always called me her baby sister when she was in a good mood. We met for lunch the next day so she could see the ring. She held my hand, examined it from every angle, and smiled. "It's beautiful," she said. "He has good taste." Then she paused and added, "You know, I always thought I'd be the first one of us to get married." I laughed it off. "It's not a race, Em." She smiled, but it was tight. "I know, I'm just kidding." But she wasn't kidding. Things started getting weird about a month after the engagement. Emma began showing up places Daniel and I were supposed to be. At first, it seemed coincidental. We'd planned a quiet dinner at our favorite Italian restaurant, and Emma appeared at the bar. "Oh my God, what are the odds?" she laughed. "I was just craving their carbonara." She joined us. Daniel was polite, friendly even. He didn't know her well yet, but he tried to make conversation. She asked him about his job, his hobbies, his childhood. She was charming, funny, engaging. I remember feeling proud that my two favorite people were getting along. Then it happened again. We went to a new coffee shop on Saturday morning, and Emma walked in 15 minutes later. "No way! I've been wanting to try this place." And again, a bookstore, a movie theater, a park where we were walking our dog. When I mentioned it to her, she got defensive. "What? I'm not allowed to go places. You don't own the whole city, you know." "That's not what I'm saying," I said carefully. "It just seems like a weird coincidence that you keep showing up where Daniel and I are." "Maybe we just have similar taste," she snapped. "Or maybe you're being paranoid." I dropped it. I didn't want to fight with her. But then Daniel mentioned something that made my stomach drop. "Your sister is really sweet," he said one night as we were getting ready for bed. "She texted me today to ask about my presentation at work. I didn't realize you'd told her about it." I froze. I didn't tell her about it. Daniel looked confused. "Huh, well, she knew about it. She said it must be stressful and sent me this motivational quote thing." "How did she get your number?" "I think from the family group chat your mom made, when we got engaged." I felt uneasy but didn't say anything. Maybe I was being paranoid. The texts continued. Daniel showed me some of them because he thought they were nice but a little odd. "Emma, hey, hope work isn't too stressful today. Remember to take breaks. Smiling face with smiling eyes. Emma, saw this article about your industry and thought of you. Emma, random question. What's your favorite type of music? Making a playlist and trying to expand my horizons lol. When I confronted her, she acted like I was being crazy. I'm just trying to get to know my future brother-in-law. Why are you being so possessive? It's weird, Emma. You're texting him more than you text me. That's not true. It is true, and you're showing up everywhere we go. It's making me uncomfortable. Her face changed then. Something cold flickered in her eyes. You know what? I was trying to be supportive. I was trying to be part of your life because you're my sister and I love you. But if you want me to back off, fine. I'll back off. She didn't talk to me for 2 weeks. When Emma finally broke her silence, she acted like nothing had happened. She showed up at my apartment with coffee and croissants. I'm sorry, she said, hugging me tight. I've been thinking about what you said, and you're right. I was being too much. I just got excited about the wedding and wanted to be involved, but I overstepped. Can we start over? I was so relieved. I'd missed her terribly. We spent the day together like old times, looking at wedding inspiration, laughing, planning my bachelorette party. I thought we were okay. I was so wrong. A few weeks later, my friend Megan called me, her voice tight. Hey, so this is going to sound strange, but did you tell Emma something about me? What do you mean? She called me yesterday and said you'd been venting to her about how I'd been a bad friend lately. She said you felt like I didn't care about your wedding and that you were hurt I hadn't offered to help plan anything. My blood ran cold. I never said that. I never said anything like that. That's what I thought, Megan said slowly. Because it didn't sound like you, but she was very convincing. She had specific examples of things I'd supposedly done. Megan, I swear I didn't say any of that. You're one of my bridesmaids. You've been nothing but supportive. I believe you, but why would Emma say that? I didn't have an answer. Over the next month, 3 more friends called with similar stories. Emma had reached out to each of them, claiming I'd said hurtful things about them. She'd twisted innocent comments I'd made, invented entire conversations, created drama where there was none. My friend group started fracturing. People who'd known me for years suddenly seemed distant, suspicious. When I tried to explain that Emma was lying, some of them believed me, but others seemed uncertain. Why would she lie about something like that? My friend Jess asked. She's your twin sister. The worst part was that Emma denied everything. I would never do that, she said, tears streaming down her face when I confronted her. I can't believe you'd think I would try to turn your friends against you. Do you really have such a low opinion of me? She was convincing. God, she was so convincing. For a moment, I almost believed her, almost thought I'd imagined the whole thing. But then Daniel came home from work one day looking troubled. Emma called me, he said. What did she say? He hesitated. She said she was worried about you, that you'd been acting different lately, more anxious, more paranoid. She asked if I'd noticed. And what did you say? I said you seemed stressed about the wedding planning, but that's normal. But then she said, he trailed off. What? She said you'd been having doubts about us, about getting married. I felt like I'd been punched in the stomach. I have never said that, not to her, not to anyone. I know, Daniel said quickly, pulling me into his arms. I know you haven't. I told her she must have misunderstood something, but it was weird, the way she said it. It was almost like she wanted me to believe it. That night, I lay awake trying to piece together what was happening. My sister, my twin, my other half, was systematically destroying my relationships. But why? I found out about the stalking by accident. Daniel and I had planned a surprise date night. He wouldn't tell me where we were going, just said to dress nice. We ended up at this beautiful rooftop restaurant downtown. It was perfect. Fairy lights, live music, the city skyline glittering around us. We were waiting for our food when I saw her. Emma, sitting at the bar alone, watching us. Our eyes met across the restaurant. She didn't look away, didn't pretend she hadn't seen us. She just stared, her face expressionless, and slowly raised her wine glass in a sort of toast. My hands started shaking. "Daniel," I whispered, "Emma's here." He turned, and I saw his face go pale. "That's the third time this week," he said quietly. "What?" "The third time I've seen her. I didn't want to worry you, but on Monday, she was at the gym when I went after work. Tuesday, she was at the coffee shop near my office. I thought it was coincidental, but..." We left immediately. As we walked out, Emma followed us with her eyes but didn't move. I called her as soon as we got to the car. "What the fuck are you doing?" I said, my voice shaking. "I don't know what you mean." "You were at the restaurant. You're following us." "I'm allowed to go out to dinner," she said calmly. "It's a public place." "How did you know we'd be there?" Silence. "Emma, how did you know?" "I have to go," she said and hung up. Daniel and I sat in the car, both of us trying to process what was happening. "I think she's tracking you somehow," Daniel said. "Your phone, maybe." We went through my phone. She wasn't sharing my location, but then Daniel found something that made his face go white. "Check your Find My iPhone family sharing." I did. Emma had added herself to my family sharing months ago, back when she'd borrowed my phone to call our mom. I'd completely forgotten about it. She'd been tracking my location for months. I removed her immediately and blocked her from my location services. Then I called her back. "You've been tracking me," I said, "for months." "I just wanted to make sure you were safe," she said, and her voice had that same flat, emotionless quality. "That's not normal, Emma. That's stalking. You're my sister. I love you. I worry about you. This isn't love. This is control." She laughed then, and it was a sound I'd never heard from her before, cold and brittle. "You have no idea what love is," she said. "You think Daniel loves you? You think you're special. You're not. You're ordinary. You've always been ordinary, and he'll figure that out eventually." Then she hung up. I stared at my phone, tears streaming down my face. Daniel held me while I sobbed. "She's sick," he said softly. "Something's really wrong with her." I knew he was right, but she was still my sister. Part of me still wanted to help her, to fix whatever had broken between us. I should have known better. Things went quiet for a few weeks. Emma didn't call, didn't text, didn't show up anywhere. I started to relax, thinking maybe she'd gotten the message and was backing off. Then my venue coordinator called me. "Hi, I just wanted to confirm the changes you requested for your reception." "Changes? I didn't request any changes." A pause. "But someone called yesterday and said they were you. They changed your menu selections, moved your ceremony time, and altered your seating chart." My heart started pounding. What did they sound like? "Well, like you. I mean, I assumed it was you. The voice was identical." We were twins. Of course the voice was identical. I spent 3 hours on the phone, undoing all the changes Emma had made. The venue coordinator was apologetic, but also clearly disturbed. "Has someone been impersonating you?" she asked carefully. "My twin sister," I said, exhausted. Oh my God. I'm so sorry. We'll add a password verification to your account immediately." But the damage was done. Emma called my florist and canceled my flower order. She called my photographer and changed the shot list to remove all photos with me in them and add extra sister shots. She somehow got into my wedding dress appointment and tried to alter my order to 2 sizes too small. She was trying to ruin my wedding. Every vendor I called had a similar story. A woman who sounded exactly like me had called with bizarre changes or cancellations. Some of them had processed the changes. Others had been suspicious and called to verify. I was spending hours every day calling vendors, verifying information, adding passwords and security questions. I was exhausted, paranoid, terrified. Daniel suggested we elope. "She can't ruin what she doesn't know about," he said. I was tempted. God, I was so tempted. But I didn't want her to win. I didn't want to give up my wedding because my sister had lost her mind. We hired a security guard for the venue. We told all our vendors that only Daniel or I could make changes in person with ID. We changed all our passwords, locked down our accounts, told our friends not to share any wedding information with Emma. And then things got so much worse. My best friend Sarah called me at 2 a.m., crying. "I need to ask you something, and I need you to be honest with me." "Sarah, what's wrong? Did Daniel cheat on you?" The world tilted. "What? No, why would you?" "Emma called me. She said she needed to talk to someone, that she was worried about you but didn't want to go behind your back. She said Daniel had been having an affair, and you knew about it but were in denial." "That's not true. None of that is true." "She said she had proof, text messages. She said she'd been trying to protect you but couldn't watch you marry someone who was betraying you." I felt sick. "Sarah, she's lying. I don't know why she's doing this, but she's lying about everything." "I want to believe you," Sarah said, and I could hear the doubt in her voice. Emma had texted 5 of my bridesmaids the same story. Daniel was cheating. I was in denial. She had proof. By morning, my phone was flooded with messages. Some people believed Emma. Some people believed me. Everyone wanted to know the truth. I called Emma. "Take it back," I said, my voice shaking with rage. "Call everyone back and tell them you lied." "I'm not lying," she said calmly. "I saw the messages on his phone." "You've never been alone with his phone. You're making this up." "Am I? How do you know what I've seen? How do you know what he does when you're not around?" "Because I trust him." "That's your first mistake," she said, and I could hear the smile in her voice. "You always trust too easily. It's going to destroy you." "Why are you doing this?" "Because someone has to protect you from yourself." "I don't need protection. I need you to leave me alone." "I can't do that," she said softly. "You're my sister. I'll never leave you alone." The line went dead. Daniel was devastated when I told him. We spent the day calling my friends, explaining the situation, showing them our phones, our messages, proving there was no affair. Most of them believed us, but the damage was done. There was doubt now, whispers, questions. Even people who believed me looked at Daniel differently. And Emma had accomplished exactly what she wanted. The final straw came 3 weeks before the wedding. I was at work when I got a call from an unknown number. "Hi, is this Emma?" "No, this is her sister. Can I help you?" "Oh, I'm so sorry. This is Dr. Reeves from the psychiatric unit at St. Mary's Hospital. Your sister Emma checked herself in yesterday for evaluation, and she listed you as her emergency contact." My blood ran cold. "What?" "She's safe and stable, but she wanted us to contact you. She said she's been having a mental health crisis and needs support." I left work immediately and drove to the hospital. My mind was racing. Had Emma actually had a breakdown? Was she finally getting help? Despite everything, I felt a surge of hope. Maybe this was rock bottom. Maybe she could get better. I asked for her at the front desk. The receptionist looked confused. "Emma, we don't have any patient by that name." "But Dr. Reeves called me. He said she checked in yesterday." The receptionist checked her computer, then shook her head. "I'm sorry, there's no Dr. Reeves on staff, and we haven't had any admissions under that name." Understanding crashed over me like a wave. It was fake, all of it. Emma had made the call herself or had someone else do it. She'd wanted me to rush to the hospital, panicked and worried so she could. What? Prove I still cared. Watch me squirm. I sat in my car in the hospital parking lot and called her. "Nice try," I said when she answered. "I don't know what you're talking about." "The hospital, the fake admission. Did you really think I wouldn't check?" She was quiet for a long moment. Then she laughed. "You know what the sad thing is," she said. "Part of you was relieved. Part of you was hoping I'd actually had a breakdown so there'd be an explanation for all of this. So you could forgive me, and we could go back to being sisters." She was right, and that made it worse. "I can't do this anymore," I said, my voice breaking. "I can't keep letting you hurt me." "Then don't," she said simply. "Call off the wedding, leave Daniel, come home." "What?" "That's all you have to do. Leave him and everything goes back to normal. We can be us again. The pieces finally clicked into place. This wasn't about protecting me. This wasn't about mental illness or jealousy or sibling rivalry. This was about control, about keeping me for herself, about making sure no one else could have the place in my life that she'd always occupied. No, I said. Then I'll keep going, she said, her voice matter of fact. I'll keep ruining things. I'll keep telling people about you. I'll show up at your wedding. I'll make a scene. I'll tell everyone what you've done. I haven't done anything. Haven't you? She said, and her voice turned cold. You abandoned me. You chose him over me. You broke us. Emma, you need help, professional help. I don't need help, she snapped. I need my sister back, and I'll do whatever it takes to make that happen. She hung up. I sat in the car and cried until I couldn't cry anymore. Then I drove home and told Daniel everything. We need to get a restraining order, he said immediately. She's my sister. She's stalking you. She's harassing you. She's making your life hell. Blood doesn't give her the right to destroy you. He was right. I knew he was right. But the idea of legally severing ties with my twin, my other half, felt like cutting off a limb. Still, we made an appointment with a lawyer. Before we could file anything, Emma showed up at our apartment. It was 11 p.m. Daniel was in the shower. I was in my pajamas, drinking tea and trying to relax. The knock was soft but insistent. When I looked through the peephole, Emma was standing there, her face eerily calm. I almost didn't open the door, but some part of me, some stupid, hopeful part, thought maybe she'd come to apologize, to explain, to be my sister again. I opened the door. Hi, she said, smiling. What are you doing here? I wanted to talk. Can I come in? Every instinct told me to say no, but I stepped aside. She walked in slowly, looking around like she was cataloging everything. She sat on the couch, crossed her legs, and looked at me with that same unsettling calm. I've been thinking, she said, about us, about everything. I stayed standing, my hand on my phone in my pocket. And you were right, I've been acting crazy. I've been jealous and controlling and awful. She looked down at her hands. I don't know what's wrong with me, when you got engaged, something broke inside me. I felt like I was losing you. My heart ached. This was what I'd been waiting for, an acknowledgement, an explanation. I said softly, you're not losing me, you're pushing me away. I know, she whispered. I know I am, and I want to stop. I want to fix this. Then you need to get help, real help. Therapy, maybe medication, I don't know, but you can't keep doing this. She nodded, tears spilling down her cheeks. You're right, I'll do it, whatever it takes. I just don't want to lose you. I sat down next to her, and she leaned into me. For a moment, it felt like old times, like we were kids again, twins against the world. Then I felt her hand in my pocket. She grabbed my phone and jumped up, backing away from me. Emma, what are you? She was typing frantically, her face illuminated by the screen. I lunged for her, but she twisted away. You want to know why I'm doing this, she said, her voice suddenly harsh. You want to know the truth. Give me my phone. The truth is that I met Daniel first. I froze. 3 months before you did, at a coffee shop near campus, we talked for an hour. He got my number. We texted for a week. And then he stopped responding because he met you at that stupid wedding. The room was spinning. You knew him. I more than knew him, she said, and now she was crying, her face twisted with something ugly and raw. We were supposed to go on a date. He canceled because something came up. 2 days later, you're sending me pictures of this amazing guy you met. I didn't even realize it was him at first. But when you introduced us, when I saw his face. She laughed bitterly. He didn't even recognize me. We talked for hours, and I meant so little to him that he didn't even remember my face. But he remembered yours. Emma, if you had feelings for him, you should have said something. Said what? She snapped. That I had a crush on your boyfriend. That he was supposed to be mine first. You would have married him anyway. You always get what you want. That's not true. It is true, she screamed. You've always been the favorite, the pretty one, the smart one, the successful one. I'm just the other twin, the spare. And the one time I had a chance at something first, you took it from me." Daniel came out of the bathroom, his hair dripping, his expression alarmed. "What's going on?" Emma turned to him, her face transforming into something soft and sad. "Daniel, I need to tell you something," she said, her voice shaking. "I've been in love with you since the day we met, and I know you felt it too. I know you remember me." Daniel looked confused, then understanding dawned on his face. "The coffee shop," he said slowly. You were the girl from the coffee shop." "Yes," Emma said, moving toward him. "It was me. We had a connection. You felt it, I know you did." "Emma, I had one conversation with you 2 years ago. I barely remember it. And then I met." "Her," Emma spat, pointing at me. "You met her and she made you forget me, but I was first. I was supposed to be first." I felt like I was watching a stranger. This wasn't my sister. This was someone I didn't know. "Emma, you need to leave," Daniel said firmly. "Right now." "Or what?" she said, and suddenly she had my phone up, showing him the screen. "Or you'll call the cops, because I just sent some very interesting texts from your fiance's phone to all of her bridesmaids. Screenshots of our conversation, where she admitted to having doubts about the wedding and said some pretty terrible things about all of them." My stomach dropped. "You didn't." She smiled. "I did, and they're already responding, look." She turned the phone so I could see. Messages flooding in. Shock, hurt, betrayal. "You're insane," Daniel said. "I'm in love," Emma corrected. "And love makes you do crazy things. You should understand that, Daniel. You claim to love my sister, but you forgot all about me the second you met her. What does that say about you?" "It says he fell in love with someone else," I said, my voice steady despite the panic in my chest. "Which is normal, which is human. You had one conversation 2 years ago. That doesn't mean he owed you anything." Emma's face crumpled. "But he was supposed to be mine," she whispered. "I saw him first, I talked to him first, I fell in love with him first, and you took him like you take everything." "I didn't know," I said. "I swear I didn't know." "It wouldn't have mattered if you did," she said bitterly. "You still would have married him because you don't care about me. You never have." "That's not true. I love you." "Then leave him," she said, and suddenly she was pleading. "Just leave him for me. Prove you love me more." I looked at my sister, this person I'd shared a womb with, shared a childhood with, shared everything with. And I realized that I'd lost her a long time ago. Maybe she'd never really existed the way I thought she had. "No," I said quietly. Something in her eyes went dead. "Then we're done," she said. "We're done being sisters. We're done being family. And I hope you're happy with your choice because you're going to lose everyone else. I'll make sure of it." She dropped my phone on the floor, where it shattered, and walked out. The door closed behind her, and the silence was deafening. I spent the next 3 days doing damage control. I sent messages from Daniel's phone explaining what happened. I called my bridesmaids individually, explained about Emma's illness, showed them evidence of her stalking and lies. Some of them believed me immediately. Others took convincing. A few never really believed me at all and dropped out of the wedding party. We filed for a restraining order. The evidence was overwhelming. The stalking, the tracking, the impersonation, the harassment. The judge granted it immediately. Emma was served papers 2 days later. She didn't respond, didn't fight it, just disappeared. My mother called me crying. "What happened between you two? She won't talk to me. She just keeps saying you betrayed her." I tried to explain. "But how do you explain that your twin sister stalked your fiancé because they had one conversation 2 years ago? How do you make someone understand the depth of delusion and obsession?" My mother wanted me to forgive her, to understand that Emma was sick and needed help. And maybe she was right. Maybe Emma was sick, but I was tired of being her victim. The wedding happened 3 weeks later. We hired security. Emma didn't show up. Part of me was relieved. Part of me spent the entire day looking over my shoulder, waiting for her to appear. She never did. It's been 6 months since Emma walked out of my apartment. 6 months since I've seen her or spoken to her. The restraining order is still in effect. I heard through my mother that Emma moved to another state, that she's in therapy, that she's working on herself. I hope that's true, I really do. But I don't think I'll ever let her back into my life. Not fully, not the way it was before. Daniel and I are happy. Married life is good. We're planning to buy a house, maybe start a family someday. We're building a life that's ours, separate from all the chaos. But sometimes, late at night, I feel her absence like a phantom limb. I see something funny and reach for my phone to text her before remembering I can't. I have dreams where we're kids again, laughing, whole, unbroken. I miss my sister, but I don't miss what she became. My therapist says it's okay to grieve the relationship while protecting myself. That loving someone and setting boundaries aren't mutually exclusive. That I made the right choice. Some days I believe her. Some days I wonder if I should have tried harder, done more, been more understanding. But then I remember the stalking, the lies, the sabotage, the look in her eyes when she said we were done being sisters. And I know I made the right choice. I chose myself. I chose my marriage. I chose peace. And if that makes me selfish, then I guess I'm selfish. I'm okay with that now. Update, 3 months later. People have been asking for an update, so here it is. Emma sent me a letter last month. My mother forwarded it to me, along with a note begging me to read it. I almost threw it away. Daniel told me I didn't have to read it if I didn't want to, that I didn't owe her anything. But I read it anyway. It was 12 pages long, handwritten. Parts of it were illegible from what looked like tear stains. She apologized, sort of. She said she'd been in therapy, that she'd been diagnosed with several things I won't share here because they're her story to tell. She said she was on medication now and that things were clearer. She said she understood why I cut her off, that she didn't blame me, that she hoped someday I could forgive her, but she understood if I couldn't. Then she wrote something that broke my heart. I looked at your Instagram yesterday. I know I shouldn't have. My therapist says I need to stop, but I couldn't help it, and I saw a photo of you and Daniel at the beach. You looked so happy. Your smile was real, not the forced smile you had in the last few months before the wedding. And I realized that I did that. I stole your happiness. I made you afraid and anxious and paranoid. And I can't take that back. I can never take that back. I'm so sorry I can't be your sister anymore. I'm so sorry I became your villain instead. I cried when I read that. I cried for hours. Daniel held me and asked if I wanted to respond. I don't know yet. Part of me wants to reach out, to tell her I forgive her or that I'm working on forgiving her, to give her some kind of closure. But part of me knows that opening that door, even a crack, could be dangerous for both of us. So for now, I'm staying silent. Maybe someday we'll find our way back to each other. Maybe in 10 years or 20, when enough time has passed and enough healing has happened, we can be sisters again. Or maybe we won't. Maybe this is just how our story ends. Two halves of a whole, separated forever. I'm learning to be okay with that. I'm learning to be whole on my own. Thanks for reading this far. I know it was long. I just needed to get it all out, to tell someone the whole truth, because most people in my life only know pieces of the story. If you're going through something similar, please know you're not alone. Please know it's okay to protect yourself, even from family, especially from family. Blood doesn't give someone the right to destroy you. I'm still learning that lesson myself. But I'm getting there. One day at a time.